The lockdown longbow is back, and it's back for gambesons this time. So what is a gambeson? Well, it's an armoured jacket made of many, many layers of cloth. So in many respects, not that different to a bulletproof jacket nowadays. So what is a gambeson? Well, late 15th century recipe says it's 32 layers of linen, well-washed linen, second-hand, so old shirts, old dresses, whatever. We don't know the overall weight or the thickness, but this one is 32 layers here, faced front and back with a linen canvas, and it is around about 10 mil thick. It is well resistant to arrows. They do pass through, but it is resistant. Now, we saw that in a previous film that I did with a lighter weight crossbow, but we're going to do it today with our lockdown longbow, our 160-pound English longbow simulator. But it wasn't just the flexible fabric like this that they used. They also did other things. Now, there's a guy called Benjamin Lantain who sent me a bucket of information on this stuff. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Really welcome. Because the thing is, you might watch this and think I know everything. I really, really don't. And a lot of the information comes from places like My Armoury, the chat room My Armoury. Go check it out if you don't know it. It's brilliant. And looking through the comments here, you, 100,000 people, have an awful lot of information. It's really useful. Now, the other thing that they did, that Benjamin highlighted, was that they hardened their gambesons. So what am I talking about here? Well, again, we kind of know and we kind of don't. It's a bit like the old boiled leather thing. The Romans, and indeed medieval people, would soak the linen in a mixture of wine and salt. We don't know how much. We don't know how long for. So we just got to try it. So this was soaked in red wine and salt. And what does it do? Well, the salt fills the gaps between the fibres, much like the glue fills the gaps between the fibres in boiled leather. There's a sort of a stickiness with glue as well. You know it when you come out the sea and you handle your clothes and things. It could be partly that. And the acidity of the wine also changes the cellulose fibres within the fabric. So there's lots going on. Will it be more resistant? Well, it's certainly stiffer. So we'll find out, That's what this is all about. Benjamin highlighted another couple of things. One is that these are almost always worn in conjunction with maille. So we're going to have a look at that. But not today. So there's a scientific reason, which is that simply, if you've got two layers of differing things, what is each layer bringing to the party? Well, you don't know. So we're going to split them out and be separate on that. But the other thing is, I have some really proper riveted maille that is coming on the way. And so I'm going to save my maille and gambeson tests for that. But then there's another thing that Benjamin highlighted, and this is interesting. Again, with medieval recipes, they just say do it in the usual way. It's infuriating. Well, one of the things that they talk about is blackening gambesons. Blacken them in the usual way. Well, yeah, great, brilliant. What is the usual way? Well, it could be involving pitch. That's an obvious one to go to. But when you make boiled leather, you've got a hot glue pot, which is iron. You've got veg tan leather, which has got tannin in it. Over a few hours, the tannin and the iron react, and the glue in that pot goes jet black, like used engine oil. Now, if you then took your linen and you soaked it in that glue mix, your linen would come out, A, tougher, with all the gaps filled and stronger, and it would also come out black. Now, we know that the Greeks used glue and linen for their linothorax, for their armour. So maybe the medieval people did as well. We don't know. I haven't got a sample of that today, but you know what? If you think, and Benjamin, I'll be interested to know your opinion, if you think that the glue and linen thing could be viable as a black linen, let's give it a go. So let me know. Maybe we'll try it later on in the series. But right now, we're going to go and shoot some stuff. All right? Back at the range with an untreated panel of gambesons. Let's see what happens. Type 16. Straight in, but not perhaps that deeply by the look of it. Type 9, short bodkin. Toughened, M2. Interesting. That didn't look like it's so deep. We'll find out in a bit. Needle bodkin. This is the current arrow to beat for most of these tests. Lovely. Let's go see what we got. So let's pull that one. God, they are hard. I'll tell you what, let's just get this whole panel off. Ah, well, looky here. Yeah, there's a story there, isn't there? Right, type 16. My first impressions were wrong. 18 centimetres in. Type 7 needle. 27 centimetres in. Type 9 short bodkin, 7 centimetres in. I'm just going to put the M2 on again and try that because it was like about 15 mil or something. And it was right at the edge. I was right. What happened on the first shot with the M2 is it hit right on the edge of the foam and the foam fractured away. And I think that took some of the strike out of it. This time, much better hit. Penetration on the M2, 19 centimetres. Next up is the lockdown longbow versus the hardened gambeson, hardened in salt and wine. It should be better, I know, let's find out. M2 first of all. It's a nice one. I mean, we just won't know until I'm up there, so I can't even get excited about anything. There's nothing to get excited about. Needle bodkin. Short bodkin now. I mean, they're all convincingly in. But like I said, often these were worn with maille. And the other thing, of course, type 16. Armour is not proof against everything all the time. Never is. Let's go have a look. This is interesting. I'm going to mark them off. I'm not going to tell you. And then we're going to go back up to base and we'll have a look what the results are. Now, a really good thing to note about the samples that I've been shooting today is, as I said, there is no specification for the thickness of these things. It just says 32 layers in one of the particular quotes. It might be that my layers are thinner, and it might be that this garment is not as protective as historically it should have been. Benjamin Lantain makes a good point, and it's the same point I made in my boiled leather video, that soldiers are prepared to wear a certain weight of armour. If I made a gambeson out of this thickness of material all over, it would come under that weight. So maybe this isn't enough. We'll never know. But again, maybe I'll come back in a later video and we'll do, we'll double up with both layers and we'll try shooting again, see what happens. And that's the back of the hardened gambeson. Again, I wouldn't want to be in it. But here are the numbers. So, first of all, unhardened and then hardened. So, type 7, needle bodkin, 27 centimetres, 19. Type 9, short bodkin, 7 centimetres, then 12. Type 16, 18 centimetres and 18 centimetres. M2, 19 centimetres and 18 centimetres. So are those differences in results? The type 9 I think there might have been a problem with, but is that differences in results going to set the world alight? No, it's not. It's not radically different, but it is a slight improvement. And the thing is, if my life is on the line, slight improvement sounds quite good to me. So yes, it is better, type 9 aside. Yes, it is better. Is it revolutionary better? No, it's not. So maybe later in this series, we'll come back and have a look at what I think perhaps could be a black gambeson hardened with glue. We'll have a look at that, see what happens with that. But here we are. Gambesons, hard and soft, been tested against 4 different arrow types. You've seen what it does. Gambesons are a kind of a low grade soldier armour. They're not highfalutin, but there's another medium grade soldier's armour that we're going to have a look at. Brigandine, properly made inside and out by my friend Ash from Armour Services Historical. Coming to a YouTube screen near you soon. Thank you.